in Pakistan, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about who might have been involved in Jeffrey Epstein from our country. And I see lots of people play politics here in Pakistan. And there are pictures of Imran Khan, the former prime minister, with Ghislaine Maxwell from the older days. And he has also been mentioned in a completely different context in one of those emails, which have been leaked in the Epstein Files. Do you think there might be a chance that somebody from among Pakistani political elite might also have been involved with Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, it's an interesting question. I've not seen anything in my own research, and no one's picked up anything in the files. But it might be worth, if you've got names to put in there, like Imran Khan or others, to drop them in. There's an index, and just see if they pop up. But he was very much part of Ghislaine's circle. I mean, there's no reason why she shouldn't have tried to draw him in some respect. And if they were looking to penetrate, influential people, he would be a very obvious person to go for. So that's a very interesting, idea. I'd be interested. I mean, I might go and look too, but I mean, perhaps look at other people as well. But yeah, no, that's really interesting.
Yeah, because it had been said by some of Imran Khan's friends that he used to drop by at some resort or some private residence at Virgin Islands. So a lot of people have been trying to draw those connections. So I think if something comes out that might be interesting, I remember that I had met Sarah Ferguson a few years ago at one of her book launch events in Henley-on-Thames. So she was there to launch a book of hers. And
Right.
she came across as a really nice person, very vogue, very aware of things, and then all of a sudden she became one of the persons at the center of the Epstein scandal. One of the strangest things is that she used to run something which even Princess Eugenie used to run. It was called Anti-Slavery Collective, and not many people have ever noticed that, and not many people even talk about that. It was launched by Sarah Ferguson. It was her idea, which was then taken further by Princess Eugenie, which was about eliminating modern slavery and rescuing women and children who were caught up in sex trafficking and all those kinds of horrible things. And the irony is that they themselves are at the center of all the drama. How do you see that?
Well, actually, I've forgotten that Sarah set it up. That's the reason I think the Sarah's Trust got some money back. I think it's all about laundering reputations, and this is the kind of where they it's rather cynical. They kind of use sex trafficking because it's clearly going to get them a lot of sympathy. Andrew had something again that was taken out of the book, and I'm going to put it into the Substack, where he ran a charity with the Body Shop in India. And again, women who'd been sex trafficked, and they produced goods for the Body Shop. And as soon as he got some publicity for it, he shut the thing down, or they stopped doing anything for these poor women. So I'm slightly cynical about the Anti-Slavery Collective. It's collected a lot of money if you look at the accounts. It doesn't really spend very much money. But that's definitely why Eugenie is trying to publicly sort of distance herself from her parents, though she's not doing that privately, because it's clearly she wants to keep that thing going. But I'm afraid it's all a very cynical exercise to present them as wonderful people when they're not.
And do you think that Eugenie or Beatrice, because a lot of the talk that is going around them is they're poor girls, I feel sorry for them, they should not be blamed for their parents' fault. But remember, I think I've also got the book there, written by Sam McAllister, and she writes that when the Newsnight interview was being arranged between the BBC and Andrew, Beatrice was very much at the center of the negotiations between Andrew and Newsnight team. So I do believe she played a very active role in sort of maneuvering her father's image to sort of rehabilitate him. I don't think that they were just silent spectators to everything. I think they were also at the middle of it all.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, she's very close, particularly close to her mother. Her mother uses an advisor. She treats her a bit like a sort of ab-fab mother. Beatrice is a sensible one. I mean, they were trying to get Beatrice to actually inherit the title in the way that Mountbatten was able to pass on his title to his daughter. So, and the Queen refused. So they're very ambitious for her, and they were very keen that she become a working royal, and that was part of the deal for him to move out of Royal Lodge, that basically the royal family would take care of the girls. And she's the one who's picked up the contacts book and is running around the Middle East. And I'd be interested if you pick up any stories, when you're in Pakistan,
Yeah.
about what they might be doing. But you're absolutely right. She was there as the advisor. He took for the Newsnight interview. I'm a little cynical again about Sam McAllister, because if you compare her book to actually the real story with Laura Burns,
Right.
that Newsnight were negotiating for an interview about Pitch at the Palace, and had nothing to do with, and that was quite constrained and prescribed. I don't believe everything that Sam McAllister has put in the book. And the fact that Laura Burns got no credit for the work that she did, the fact she briefed
Yeah.
Emily Maitlis for the interview, passed on all her material, and I think it's very shocking that Maitlis and McAllister have really kind of their reputations have been incredibly enhanced by their involvement in something that they didn't actually really set up.
Right, right, and the thing is that your book, I think, is the most authoritative on both the Duke and Duchess of York. But I've also been reading the Duchess of York, I mean, former Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson. She's trying to get the narrative back in her hands, and she might be writing a tell-all memoir. Also to make money. Two questions regarding that. Do you think she'd be able to find any publisher for that? Secondly, do you think she'd actually go ahead and write a tell-all book to revive her reputation?
Well, the line is that she's doing it with a great friend of hers called Imogen Edwards-Jones. And yes, I think, it would be bought. People would, people publish all sorts of rubbish about Jack the Ripper and stuff, knowing it's rubbish because it sells. Yeah, she would get a big advance. She'd get an Oprah interview. I think particularly in the States, she'd get the money. I mean, I suspect she'd sell it to Simon Schuster, her regular publishers in the States. And then it might be distributed here. And I think she's got to the stage where she doesn't really care. I think she's out for revenge against people like Charles. So she's going to dish the dirt on him. She's going to talk about her relationship with Diana and the Queen and all this stuff. So there'll be good, in inverted commas, good stuff. But I think she'll have some digs at various people who she felt have plotted against her, like William and Charles. And what she really knows about Harry and Meghan. So yeah, I think she could make millions out of it. And I think in some ways she hasn't done this up till now because she was playing a longer game. But I don't think she's got any cards to play now. So she'll do. I think she will do it.
So I'm sure I'd be interested in buying that book. But one last question I have to ask you is I'm really looking forward to the upcoming revised, updated edition of Entitled. When is that going to come out?
Well, it's coming up 21st of May. I've still got to write it. It's meant to be in fact, today. But it's just, the story is so fast moving. Trying to work out what you put in is tricky. So I think we're hopefully getting an extension a bit. But that's the plan to have something. To have a book out on 21st of May.
Right, I'm really looking forward to that. I already have two of yours, paperback and
Yes. Oh, you're sweet.
yeah, and so I think that there'd be a third one, with the red cover, which I've seen on your Substack that you've shared. But thank you so much for your time.
A pleasure too, and look forward to getting together when you're in London.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot. Okay, bye.
All right, goodbye.